had been walking on eggshells for months, sensing that the warmth in our marriage had grown cold, though I could never quite put my finger on why. Every smile from her felt rehearsed, every touch distant, as if she were slowly withdrawing from a world I thought we had built together. I tried talking. I tried reasoning. I even tried pretending nothing was wrong, hoping the cracks would mend themselves. But deep down, I knew she was slipping away, and the gnawing suspicion in my heart had finally turned into certainty. Our marriage was dying. It was on a Thursday night when I made my decision. She had mentioned almost casually that she was going out with a friend for dinner, her favorite Italian place downtown. My gut twisted as I asked for details, and she shrugged, brushing it off with that infuriating, carefree smile that once made me weak in the knees. I knew then that this was the perfect moment, the perfect opportunity to confront the betrayal I had long suspected. I didn't want to yell. I didn't want to plead. I wanted the truth to hit her like a mirror, shattering, cold, undeniable, and final. I printed the divorce papers at home, the ink still warm, the words glaring back at me like a warning. My hands trembled, not with fear, but with a strange mixture of relief and anticipation. I folded them carefully, slid them into an envelope, and placed it discreetly in the pocket of her purse, which I knew she would bring. I left the house with a calmness I didn't feel, knowing that by the end of the night, nothing would be the same again. She texted me around 8 p.m., a simple "on my way, see you later," accompanied by a heart emoji that now felt like a lie etched into her screen. I didn't respond. Instead, I went to my favorite bench at the park nearby, a vantage point where I could watch the restaurant without being seen. I sipped my coffee slowly, pretending to read a book, though my eyes were glued to the door, waiting for the moment she would step outside. When she arrived, radiant as always in a black dress that clung to her curves, laughing at something her companion said, I felt a pang of envy mixed with sadness. This was the woman I had loved, the woman I had trusted, now laughing with someone else while I sat in the shadows of our life together. My stomach twisted, but I reminded myself this was not about jealousy. This was about truth, about exposing the reality she had been hiding behind flirtatious texts, late nights, and empty promises. I waited until she leaned down to grab her purse. That was the moment I had secretly left the envelope inside, knowing she would feel it brush against her fingers. When she pulled it out, her expression shifted slowly, confusion first, then horror, and finally a flicker of anger that melted into disbelief. She tore open the envelope and I saw the papers, the words she never thought she'd face in this context, like a blade slicing through the air between us. Her eyes darted around, searching for me, realizing too late that I was there, watching silently from across the street. She froze mid-step, the laughter fading, replaced by the sick weight of realization. What is this?" she whispered, her voice trembling yet defiant. I stood up slowly, letting my presence fill the space she had once claimed as her own. "That," I said calmly, "is the truth. Our marriage is over." My voice was steady, though inside a storm raged. I tried to ignore it. I tried to believe that you loved me. But tonight, it became clear that you don't. Her hands shook as she held the papers, glancing back at her companion, who had now stopped midlife, sensing the tension, sensing the collapse of her carefully constructed facade. This is ridiculous," she stammered. "We can fix this." I didn't mean. I shook my head slowly. "You've been living a lie, laughing with him, texting behind my back, pretending everything is fine while you betray me. This isn't fixable. Not tonight. Not ever." Her lips parted as if to argue, to cry, maybe even to beg. But the words never came out. The weight of the envelope in her hand was heavier than any apology she could muster. I walked closer, keeping my tone calm, almost gentle. I didn't want to humiliate you. I didn't want to yell, to make a scene. I just wanted you to know that I see everything now, and I won't be part of it anymore. Tears started streaming down her cheeks, unashamed, unfiltered. But they did nothing to soften the blow. If anything, they cemented the reality of her choices. The man beside her looked uncomfortable, unsure whether to intervene, and I didn't care. This was between her and me, and no one else could alter the outcome. I turned away slowly, my chest tight, but my mind clear. I could feel her eyes burning into my back as I walked, but I didn't look back. Every step away from her felt like reclaiming a piece of myself that I had been losing for months. The restaurant, the laughter, the betrayal, they all faded behind me, replaced by a strange, liberating silence. Later that night, I received a text from her, short and trembling. "Please, we can talk." I didn't mean for this, but I didn't respond. I didn't want to because some things once broken can never be repaired, and some truths once revealed can never be unseen. The divorce papers were more than ink on paper. They were the final curtain, the undeniable proof that love cannot survive deceit, no matter how beautiful the lies are. As I sat alone in the quiet of my apartment, I realized something I had known but never fully accepted. Betrayal has a way of destroying not just trust, but the version of yourself that believed in forever. And yet in the ruins, there's a strange clarity, a freedom that comes only when you walk away from what no longer serves you. Tonight, I had walked away. Tonight, I had won back my life. And for the first time in months, I felt the faintest glimmer of peace.